Hey guys, this is Laverne Fuller with the Fuller Effect, and it's been a while since I've been on to talk to you guys. So I thought I'd check in with you guys to see how your guys are doing and just to talk to you guys a little bit. If you saw the title of my live tonight, I'm talking about the fact that I actually was a patient of COVID. And it's really crazy. So if you don't know a lot about me, I'm really a very active person. I tend to try to walk at least 5 miles a day, 7 days a week. And so it was really fluky how it happened. I was shopping with my daughter, and we came home that night, and we had the gas company waiting for us. Um, They were saying that they thought that there was a leak in the area near my home. They wanted to dig and check it out. So, me being the person that I am, they were like, "You can stay in the house." I'm like, "No, I cannot stay in the house while you're digging for gas and don't know what you're looking for." So, I took my daughter to the hotel. We stayed that night. About 5 o'clock that morning, they called and let us know that they found the leak and they were able to repair it and we could come home. So, we came home and nothing really. About a day or so later, I started feeling a little funny. It didn't really mean anything to me because I always tend to get summer colds. So I just ignored it. I said, okay, it's that time of year. It's just time for me to have the cold. And I just kind of went on as business as usual. 2 or 3 days in, I'm like, okay, this is different. This is really different. So I'm feeling funny. My breathing's a little different. So I go ahead and I go to the urgent care so that I can get checked. So they, of course, check me. They do a COVID test and they say, yes, you're positive for COVID and pneumonia. So they give me the antibiotics and the steroids, send me back home. So I'm doing good for a couple days. And then suddenly one day, I can't breathe. I mean, I literally cannot breathe at all. So much so, I get an Uber, I Uber to the emergency room, and all I can say when I get there is help. I couldn't say my name, I couldn't say anything. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, they'll take me, they'll put me on a nasal cannula, and I'll be back home probably in about an hour or two. Well, that's not what happened. So they immediately take me back to ER and they put a nasal cannula in. It's not the normal nasal cannula, it's a little bit stronger, and they're trying to give me oxygen. So I'm there, and so this oxygen is so strong, it literally feels like someone's shooting knives up your nose as fast as they can. So it's really hard for me to tolerate. So they're trying to put it on me. I'm taking it off. They're putting it on me. I'm taking it off. We're kind of doing a back and forth. And I'm like, I can't tolerate this. So we go back and forth until they finally put a diffuser on to make it to where I can tolerate the oxygen. So there I am, and I'm still thinking, okay, we'll get this under control and then I'll be okay. Well, that's not what occurred either. So I'm there, and I spent 2 days in ER before I actually got a room. And in those 2 days, they're putting rebreathers on you and they're telling you need to breathe and they're telling you how you need to lay. And I'm like, I don't think I'm breathing that bad. But they're like, no, you are breathing that bad. So it's kind of a tug of war back and forth, but they're trying to help me to breathe. So, long story short, I'm in the ER for 2 days, and then after 2 days, I actually go to a room. So I'm looking, and I'm like, we're still dealing with the rebreathers. We're not moving forward. So I'm asking questions of my doctors, and they're saying, listen, we're we're understaffed, overworked. We're trying to work on the national average. of taking care of the patient. Well, I've been a medical professional for over 20 years, so um, I'm understanding it, but I'm also saying no. I know that too much time, too much delay, this stuff can start affecting my lungs and my body forever. So I'm going back and forth, working with the doctors to try to get myself to a regular or whatever is considered regular breathing at this particular point. I'm also being told to be quiet. Well, if you don't know anything else about me, you need to know that I am a woman of God. And there was no way that I was going to allow anyone to stifle my voice. I didn't care how small that voice was. My voice is the voice that I live with. I'm a woman of God. I'm going to speak his name. I'm going to sing his praises. Even if it's faint, I won't allow anyone to take that from me. So I had my phone and I was playing, kept continued to pray or to play the praise song. And as I played the praise song, I'd sing. I couldn't sing loud, I couldn't sing a lot, but I would sing. And it's very, very important when you're going through the valley. And I feel like it's the valley because I really and truly feel like this COVID is a warfare. Because if you've not experienced it, it's nothing that I can even make you understand. It's nothing that I can make you um, even really relate to because um, all of the chemicals and things that they're pumping in your body, and you need to lay this way and that way. And they come in and they'd say, if you don't do this, this, and this, we're going to put you on a respirator. And I finally said, nobody else walk in my room with the spirit of manipulation. And you'll say, why did I say that? The reason I said that is because I was doing every single thing that they asked me to do the way they asked me to do it. There is no reason to come in and try to scare the hell out of me, excuse my language, to get me to do what I'm already doing. If I'm rude, if I'm defiant, if I'm whatever, I get it. But if I'm doing everything they asked me to do, there's no reason to come in. But I understand you've practiced this speech, you've got to get it. But I was of the thing, everybody knew when you walk in this room, this is a room where God dwells and resides. There, but by the grace of God, goes I. I'm no more special than anybody else on this earth. But I can tell you that I believe that the reason that I'm out of the hospital and getting back to myself, as you can hear, I'm talking and breathing, I'm not 100%, but getting back to myself is because of my faith. I was able to talk to a lot of nurses at night, and the fear is back again because they're short staffed. This is different from what they even saw before because of the Delta variants. See, the difference before is had I just had regular COVID, they would have just put a nasal cannula on me, sent me home. But the minute they heard COVID with pneumonia, that took a whole different turn completely. And so now there's a whole process that you're going through just to get to the point to where they're getting you to where you can actually breathe. And so I want to say this too. I know it's difficult because people are limited as to who can get into the hospital, but you got to be an advocate for your loved ones, especially at a time like this, because somebody's got to mind the store. Somebody's got to say, what is the progress? What is the plan? What are we looking at? Because if you don't, the process can be delayed, not because they mean to delay the process, but because there's so much going on. They may not move as fast as you actually want them to. So I found myself, I'm grateful, but as I said, I've been a medical professional for more than 20 years. So I knew what I should be seeing as in progress and movement. There, but by the grace of God goes I. I also want to tell you guys, never give up on God. Never. give up on God. You see, I'd like to sit here and tell you how wonderful and intelligent and all this kind of stuff that I am. But the fact of the matter is, God showed me favor. He showed me favor. And He showed me favor because I try to live right. But He also showed me that trying to live right is not quite enough. I was like, okay, I live right. I do the right thing. I don't bother people. But sitting there late at night in the dark, He's like, yeah, but you're not doing enough work. You're not doing enough work. Now, God didn't save me and bring me here for me to do nothing. He brought me here to do the work. When I first came on YouTube, I said that I came because God had me to say certain things to certain people. And that's exactly true. But as I watched YouTube and started watching the way that some people behaved, I got totally turned off. And then to add insult to injury, one of my relatives passed away who happened to be high profile. And then I started getting letters and emails and things to my personal home. And I kind of felt it to be extremely intrusive. Stop doing the channel. But here's the point, that was not my decision to make. It just simply wasn't. God told me to get on here and talk to you guys. It might be two people, it might be three people, it might be one person, but He has stuff that He needs for somebody to hear. And He needs for me to be an instrument to say it. So I will be back on YouTube. I will be talking about important stuff. I will not be delving into nonsense. I just don't have time for that because I'm going to say it again. This thing, I believe, is warfare. It makes no sense to me how randomly we got chosen to get COVID. Now, my daughter did not get COVID. I made sure she got the shots because unfortunately, we're in Texas and they have no reservations or anything set up for the kids other than to go to school. So my daughter did not get COVID, and I'm grateful for that, but I did. And so I just kind of wanted to come on because I do want you guys to know that when I did come home, I've been home for eight days. When I came home with oxygen in a wheelchair. So I'm grateful. I'm no longer on the oxygen. I'm breathing well on my own. I'm a little slow. I have to kind of rebuild myself back up, but I'm grateful and I'm here. And I want you guys to know just never, never give up on God because He's never, ever, ever going to give up on you. So I wanted to reach out and touch you guys. I'm not going to say get the shot, don't get the shot. I'm not going to do that because you need to pray to God, your God, whatever your belief is. I'm a woman of God. Whatever your belief is, you need to work that out. And you need to do what you feel like you're led to do in your life. I will tell you this, though. I believe now that I will get the shots because I never want to go through what I went through. And I never want to see anybody else go through what I've gone through. Um, I'm grateful. There's a lot of people that didn't make it home from this. That's not even a joke. A lot of people did not make it home um, from this. It's a crazy thing just to think that one day you're going along fine, doing things as normal, and then your breathing is just interrupted. That's the best way I can say it. Your breathing is just interrupted. No rhyme, no reason. Your breathing's just interrupted. Well, I'm not going to stay on here long. As you see, I'm still a little labored in breathing, but I'm grateful to be breathing. But I needed to let you guys know that God is real. Don't let anybody take your voice. Don't let anybody take your song, your joy, your peace. Stand on God on all things because He'll never leave you or forsake you. You know how I do it. I'm Laverne Fuller with the Fuller Effect. I love you with the love of the Lord, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Have a good night. Love you guys much. Bye.